Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Friends, good news. It's time once again to dive into that tense, terrifying, yet always terrific world of Rod Serling's Twilight Zone. Specifically, Season 1, Episode 29. I cannot believe we're at 29 already. Episode 29, Nightmare as a Child. Friends, there's nothing to it but to do it when the Twilight Zone's involved. But if you could do me a quick favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and it allows me to alert you next time it's time for the Twilight Zone or any of our sci-fi fare. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But my dear, dear friends, all that is then and this is now, and now it's time to journey into the unknown, into the Twilight Zone, Season 1, Episode 29, Nightmare as a Child. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction, and away we go. Oh my goodness, friends. This show is so good. I was just telling Patreon, there's really no way to prepare for the Twilight Zone. You can say, oh, I'm ready for a shock or a twist or a suspense, but that's pretty broad. You never know what you're going to get with this show. What genre? You never know. It's so good. And then, of course, the constant is Rod. The greatest voice in all the land. In all the land, I say. I was going to say, there's somebody on the steps there.
You're new here, aren't you? Are you just visiting? Is that it? Just visiting someone in the building? You're a quiet one, aren't you?
It's a bit shy. It's a good split focus shot.
Well, I'm kind of an expert on children. Quiet ones, noisy ones, all kinds. I teach school.
Oh, okay, school
I know all about you.
You do?
Really?
That's the first thing I usually make when I come home from school. A cup of nice hot chocolate.
I know. But you don't like marshmallows, do you?
You're right, I don't.
I don't either.
Okay.
Oh, don't you think we ought to tell your mother where you are? We wouldn't want her to be worried.
That won't be necessary.
Don't creep me out, kid. Twilight Zone. Normally, I'd be perfectly fine, but...
Month of November, hot chocolate, and a small cameo of a child's face. Imperfect only in its solemnity.
So good.
An emotion, say, like fear.
Look at that split shot.
She will understand what are the properties of terror. A little girl will lead her by the hand and walk with her into a nightmare.
Okay. Like I said, you never know what you're going to get. You absolutely have no clue what you're going to get when you walk into these.
You got burnt once. That scar right below your elbow. You remember?
Of course I remember.
Like that music cue.
How did it happen?
This little girl's really good.
Actually, I don't remember.
She'll be like, I do.
Something happened to me then, and I'm not sure exactly what it was. There are some things I'm rather vague about.
I know that. I know that very well. I know all about you.
How?
Do people look familiar to you sometimes?
What do you mean?
I mean,
Like deja vu?
when you pass people on the streets, or see them in a bank, or they walk by you, do they look familiar to you?
Sometimes.
Today?
All right, so who's the kid?
Someone go by you today who looked familiar?
She's really good.
No.
Really? Did you remember?
It's one of the first times she's blanked. That's crazy.
Yes, there was someone.
Outside the school, when you were crossing the street, there was a man in a car.
Who are you? Come on, Helen Foley.
Looked at him through the windshield.
And you recognized him.
Did he recognize you?
No, I didn't recognize him.
He felt familiar?
So familiar to you. He made you frightened, didn't he? I know he looks familiar. And I know he frightens me, just like he frightens you.
Is the little girl her?
And I have a nickname. People call me Marky. That's not my real name.
Marky?
Marky, did you hear?
Yes, I heard Marky.
No, she was Marky, comma, did you hear? Dressing her.
Nothing. I just thought,
See if she's got the scar on her elbow.
whoever's coming is coming here. I'm going out the back door. I don't want to be here.
Look, honey, there's nothing to be afraid of.
Yes,
This is...
goodbye. I'll come back later.
Miss Foley? Miss Helen Foley?
No.
It's Peter Selden, Miss Foley. I don't know whether you remember me or not, but I knew your mother very well.
What are you selling, Peter? Well, hey.
Do you remember me?
No.
You do look familiar.
We've established that that means nothing.
In front of the school? Yes, that's right. I was stopped for a red light.
I've come here to creep you out.
Do you mind if I come in for a moment?
I guess not.
It's been a lot of years, Miss Foley. 18 or 19, to be exact.
It's a weird day for you, Helen.
I used to work for your mother. Selden. Any bells yet, Peter Selden?
Selden.
I'd heard that you...
What did you hear?
Tragic thing happened. You were ill for a long time. Were you ever able to recall exactly what it was that...
Peter, what the hell are you doing here, bud?
You drew a blank after that evening. I wonder if it ever came back to you.
Only vague, disjointed things.
Are you a police officer, Peter?
Suffered a kind of a shock, a trauma, the doctors called it. And then after I recuperated, I moved to Chicago and I lived with an aunt. I've only been back here a year or so. I teach school now.
Yes, I heard that.
That's why I was by the school.
You say you worked for my mother?
Yes, I worked for almost a year.
Okay, what did your mom do?
Well, it's wonderful to see you grown up the way you have.
Hey, you too, Peter. Let's do it again in another
Girl,
10
I
years.
had quite a crush on you. I lived in the same apartment building. I was the first one to find her. Tragic, terrible thing, your mother being killed like that. And they never found the man who did it, did they?
Oh, shit. You, Peter, was the first one there?
All I remember is a kind of vague, nightmarish thing. And seeing this person.
This
Yeah,
person.
that's why he's here.
Did you see his face?
This person, his? Okay, dude.
Are you here for a while, Mr. Selden?
No, I was just passing through.
Yes, you said that. I forgot.
He's here to see if you remember that night.
Coffee or cocoa?
No, thank you.
He's here to stare at you in awkward silence.
I thought she'd finished her cocoa, and here it is, untouched.
Was she ever really there? I think that girl's her.
Strangest little thing. So solemn and wise. And
It's her.
Well, I guess I'd better be going.
Hey, well, nice talking to you, Peter. Wasn't weird at all.
little Marky.
Whoa.
Marky?
Little Marky, that's what she calls herself.
That was your nickname, Miss Foley, when you were a little girl. They called you Marky.
Twinkle, little star, how I wonder what...
Helen, don't act like you're remembering anything. Oh my God, it's intermission already. Damn it. Okay, so Marky's back trying to tell her what happened that night, I bet. Like, awake it. Oh, you're gonna stay, huh? Oh, Peter's gonna stay, everybody.
Something wrong?
Yeah, you, dude.
This little thing camping on my doorstep and having the same name I did.
He said he had a crush on her? You look like you're 20 years older than her.
I was called Marky. I haven't thought of that in years. That's what people called me, wasn't it?
I'm trying to find motivations.
Given time, you'll remember a lot of things.
Full of talents, our little Marky.
How do you mean?
I mean her singing.
He can't hear that.
Her singing! Can't you hear her singing?
No. I guess your ears are better than mine.
She's stopped now.
It's a snapshot your mother gave me of you when you were a little girl. See? You were an exceptionally beautiful child.
Thanks for being exceptionally creepy, Peter.
Especially now. So much like your mother.
Oh, God.
What, Miss Foley? What don't you understand?
His whole demeanor's changed. Oh boy. Okay. So we're halfway through the episode, so we're going to find out who killed the mom. And right now, we only have two suspects. Peter, I'm starting to feel like a red herring coming off of him, and I'm worried that our protagonist is perhaps more involved with what happened to her mom.
Listen. You call
Listen,
a thief.
Oh, never mind. Wow, it's strange that it's taken this long for this stuff to come back to her, though. Because what did they say, 17 years ago? And she'd been back here for a year? It's, presumably her hometown from Chicago. I wonder if anything is real in this.
Has that man left?
He sure has, Marky.
He left some time ago, Marky. It's rather late, you know.
It's Margie or Marquis, who knows?
Your mother will be worried.
No, she won't be worried. I don't have a mother. Not anymore.
Oh, boy.
Do you remember now about Marky? Do you, Helen?
Yeah, Margie. I'm saying Marky. Jesus.
You got a nasty burn. Right below the elbow.
Look at that look.
Now, listen, I want you to tell me who you are. I want you to tell me who you are and where you're from and what your name is.
You don't know. You don't have any idea. And you were doing so well, Helen.
Oh my God, this kid.
Remember what things?
Who killed your mom?
Familiar.
I think that's...
It's supposed to be me when I was your age. But it's not me, Marky. It's a snapshot of you.
You still don't understand, do you?
Understand what?
That I'm you, Helen. Understand now? I'm you. I'm you when you were 10 years old, when you were called Marky. I'm you, Helen. I'm you when you lived with your mother in the apartment house. I'm you when you were asleep in your bed that night and the man came into the house. And he was arguing with Mother downstairs, and she tried to get away, and she ran into your room. He choked her. Then he picked up something heavy, and he hit her on the head. Then she fell, and then you screamed. You screamed so loud.
I want to bring you up to date, Miss Foley. You've been living with ignorance too long.
Okay, Pete.
That night, it was me in your bedroom. I killed your mother.
Okay, Peter.
There was some trouble with the books, and I was pleading with her to cover for me, but your mother, rest her soul, was a particularly rigid, straight-laced woman who was going to inform on me.
Rest her soul? That's rich, bud.
I've been keeping tabs on you because I knew that one day the pieces would start to fit together, that you'd start to remember things. That's why I came back.
All right, Peter. He was already there. I don't know what to think. Oh. Great stunt. That was a good shot, actually, up the stair to the landing of the stairs.
She's a fortunate woman. She'd be a homicide victim if she were less fortunate.
What about that child she keeps talking about?
The child is her. At least she conjured up the child.
Came up when she saw him.
Really weird.
The human imagination is often weird.
Huh.
Sometimes it means salvation.
Others.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Why is she back then?
Wonder what you are. Hello.
Oh. Hey, thank God.
Hello, little one.
Meet my doll, Marky. Take us home, Rod.
Miss Helen Foley, who has lived in night and who will wake up to morning. Miss Helen Foley, who took a dark spot from the tapestry of her life and rubbed it clean. Then stepped back a few paces and got a good look at the Twilight Zone.
All right, everybody, we just finished watching Twilight Zone Season 1, Episode 29, Nightmare as a Child, and the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just finished Nightmare as a Child, the 29th episode of the Twilight Zone's very first season. I mean, I need to have like I've said this, I've even said this so many times, I need a stamp of what I'm about to tell you. I need a stamp of great acting, great camera work, awesome story, Rod's narration. Just so, I mean, we just need to accept those as a blanket statement anytime we're even going to talk about any episode of the Twilight Zone. I don't think they're going to get poor actors. Right? You don't set out doing that anyway. I don't think that they're going to, I mean, everybody has just been so incredibly good at what they've been doing. I'll tell you what I thought about when I was watching this, especially the interactions between Helen and Margie. I was calling her Margie, for God's sakes. I mean, obviously it's Margie, but who knows? Maybe I was right the first time and changed it. Doesn't matter. The interactions between the two of them were so well done and so fluid and so organic. I really applaud the script work that they are able to present here in the Twilight Zone. A lot of times when we see shows like this, or, again, episodic shows, weekly, offerings, things like that, they're so rushed to get scripts done. I always think of the original series of Star Trek as sort of like, kind of my basis for a lot of these thoughts, but it extends to anything, the Westerns of the day, the Virginian, things like that. They were constantly having these scripts come in, constantly rewriting these scripts. And when these scripts would come in and require revision and require editing or require like cutting scenes out or shortening scenes, truncating certain things to make it fit within the time constraint that you have, the last people to get the script for shooting, the shooting script or the scene script for what you're about ready to go for, are the actors, because they don't want the actors, and again, this happens all the time, the actors learn a line or a way a scene is supposed to be presented, a series of lines that they have, and then that's completely edited out. Or they take like, if you have 5 lines, they take the first, second, fourth, and fifth line and leave the third out. So then you got to memorize everything that you had there, understand what you're working with. So it's usually the actors who get it last. A lot of times it's not so much the memorization or the line delivery of the particular actor that kind of becomes weaker because of something like that script problem. It's the interaction between actors. There's not a chance to do a read through. There's not a chance to do like a little bit of scene work before you go in there. A little bit of, let's try this or let's try that. A feeling of one another, getting each other like into the scene. If it's a scene that, between two actors that have worked together for a couple years, they're able to fall right back into it and be okay with that kind of short preparation. But say you have a guest star, somebody that hasn't worked with anybody before. That's a big ask for every party involved. It's my long-winded way of saying in the Twilight Zone, normally we have very, very small casts in the Twilight Zone anyway. But with this one, especially between a younger actor like we had in Margie and an older actor like we had in Helen, same thing with A Big Tall Wish. When you have that type of dynamic, that is really something that needs to be worked through as well, because kids will have a different delivery. They aren't... Just because of the fact that they're as young as they are, they don't have a lot of experience working with different people. They're going to assume a different cadence. They're going to assume a different way to like present. If you aren't the person that they worked with before, or you're the very first person they worked with, they're going to have obviously growing pains in every stretch of the imagination, both as an actor and as a person, they're still in the middle of all that. To have them be able to have these types of, young actor, old actor dynamics that work so well speaks of a fully fleshed out, a very minimally changed script. So these, the kids and the older actors can start working with one another to get these types of really organic scenes down. The girl in here that played Margie was unreal. She was so good. She had that look, that stare, that, that acceptance, that she had a little bit of like physicality in everything she did. Like, you don't remember? You don't really? You don't remember? It's not coming to you yet. And it was so well done that to me, obviously it speaks to the talent of the performers first and foremost. But, talent will only get you so far because you don't know what the word, you can have a great line delivery. If you don't know what the line is, you're in a bit of a hole you have to dig yourself out of. And so I just think that the Twilight Zone is I would be, and again, I'm going to go through and, read the history of the Twilight Zone like I did with the original series of Star Trek. Each of the I'm hoping they have something like that, a compendium of like the production of each of the episodes, what went on behind the scenes, that type of Q&A of Twilight Zone. But I'm really curious to see how they break it down, because I can almost, I'm not a betting guy, but I would absolutely take the bet that more often than not, the scripts for these shows were in the can well before production started. Pre-production had a finished shooting script ready to go, maybe minimal changes done on set, for time constraints and things like that, or availability of actors, or availability of sets or locations, things like that. But to be able to provide your actors, especially the ones, like we said, that are younger and older, someone that doesn't have as much experience, the more time that you give them getting comfortable with the words they are going to be using, as well as the words, their lead lines that they're going to hear coming from the other actor, the cadence of the other actor, the physicality of the other actor, the talent level of the other actor, understanding when they're going to pause, when they're going to go through these lines, when they're going to evoke emotion, not being off-put if somebody gets really heated in a line, being not necessarily anticipatory to ruin the performance, but anticipatory so it doesn't put you on your heels when the character isn't supposed to be like that. It's a really well done, again, it just speaks towards the professionalism of this effing series, that they are able to get these types of performances out. And that's my long-winded way of saying, to get these performances out and to get them on film the way that they did is an absolute, it takes a village, and it starts with having a shooting script that you are ready to give your actors as soon as they hit stage or as soon as they hit set, and be able to let them get to work in the background, start working on things, start getting their lines down, getting comfortable, working with deliveries, working with, again, exchanges. And again, I just think that I would be shocked if they said that that wasn't the case with these, with basically the totality of the Twilight Zone. And of course, there's way more into it than just like the presentations of the actors and the availability of the words on the script. The directors are playing huge roles in all of this, as far as, those split focus shots were so well done. And, you get to see, as Helen's talking, you get to see Margie, like, not side-eyeing her, but like keeping an eye on her, like, are you getting it? Is it coming through yet? Is it coming through yet? Really, really well done. Now, I will say this. I thought that the episode was really cool. And again, if it wasn't the Twilight Zone and it was just a show I ran into, you don't make the guess that that's her as a younger person. Not as quickly as you would if it's the Twilight Zone, because you're looking for the weird. And you're like, oh, I bet you that's her. She knows too much. She has to be something, and making her Helen seemed the most logical choice, because you only have a finite period of time. You're not going to get into introduction of another character or anything like that. Now, strangely enough, we did have one other character come in, but it was towards the top of the episode anyway, with Peter, and having him come in and be the killer was really, really cool. I'll tell you this, though. I was actually taking it a little farther into the weird realm. I thought that Peter might be a figment of her imagination, and she was just remembering everything that came about, her mother's death. And then I took it even more in there, and I thought, is Peter like a police officer or a detective? And everybody thought that, Margie or Helen was actually the killer, like did something to her mom. So and again, I think that's the new dynamic with the Twilight Zone. It's like, and I think I'm almost positive Rod knew this was going to happen. Rod's like, oh, okay, so, we're 29 episodes into the first season. Everybody's going to be looking for the weird. We just don't have to tell them what the weird is. We can say, oh, can you guess at the twist? It could be as far along the spectrum as Helen's the killer, to all the way down to Peter's the killer. Peter's not real. There's all different variations as to how this tale can ultimately be told. And though we know it's going to be weird, we can't guess at what the weird's going to be, because it's the Twilight Zone. Rod's not going to allow it, the writers aren't going to allow it, and our actors, who are portraying words that they've had in hand long enough to commit in an organic manner into what we see on the screen. Friends, when you're dealing with pros, you're not going to get much headway with them. They're gonna block you off at every single theory that you have, or they're going to open up all the theories and say, oh, sure, one of these is right. Can you guess which one? A fantastic series, my friends. What more can we say about this great one? We'll be here next week, I'm sure. If you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and allows me to alert you next time it's time for the Twilight Zone. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But all that was then and this is now, my friends, and now, unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye from the Twilight Zone. And as a reminder, normally here on the channel, when we say goodbye from an episode we just watched, as being the Greek chorus, a vitally important part of the narrative, our reward is to go back into what we just watched and say goodbye from a favorite scene. But here on the Twilight Zone, we do something a little bit different. We say goodbye as a result of the episode we just watched. And so, my friends, instead of saying goodbye, I thought I would take this as meta as possible. And we are saying goodbye from the Twilight Zone set of Nightmare as a Child. And as we sit there contributing our 2 cents, we are the Greek chorus, vitally important part of the narrative. And as we go around and we see the actors rehearsing their lines that they've had in hand for quite some time, and we see the director planning out their next shot, and we see this entire production crew working in lockstep to create art. What else can we do, friends? We have to join in. We too have a part to play. Until such time as we can play this part again, my friends, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.